Morning.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yo, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's your man DU. It's your man DU. And this is another episode of Talking Trash. Talking Trash. We're going to talk about a little bit of, not a little bit of everything, but, we're going to give you some Mongo talk. I'm going to talk about the Crawford Canelo fight. I'm definitely going to talk about matter of fact, I'm not talking about the Giants. That's for sure. Giants kick rocks. And I'm gonna talk about Molly Querim leaving ESPN. And yeah. And I'm gonna give you the song of the day, right? But first to start with some Mongo talk. I mean, if you don't know the history, of Mongo talk, I used to be I'm a retired sanitation worker. And if anybody ever watched The Rock or any of those shows like that, they saw how The Rock used to always get like stuff off his route, like garbage, like pick up little trinkets. And those little trinkets, but once I got on the job, I found out that was a real thing with sanitation workers. And we called that Mongo. So that Mongo, we looked at it as like trinkets, jewels, stuff that we can use. So, with Mongo talk, in a short, quick way, hopefully I can give you something that you can use, right? A jewel, trinket. And the day Mongo talk title, the jewel that I want to drop is nothing's gonna stay the same. Nothing is going to stay the same. And I like to direct this to my younger people. Like nothing's going to stay the same. Prepare for your future. Things change, like in terms of your circle. Right now, you're young, you're hanging out, you're going to clubs, you're going to trips, but save some of that money. Prepare for your future. Sit time, have time to yourself. Because believe me, your circle is going to get smaller. Whether you outgrow some people or people just, unfortunately pass away out of your circle. So your circle is going to change. So definitely prepare for your future and realize that nothing stays the same. Nothing ever stays the same. Like I can take a quick drive down any street in New York, and see where the change has come, whether it's through gentrification, whether it's through new buildings going up, new businesses, whether it's businesses or buildings being torn down or not surviving. Yeah, nothing ever stays the same. And yeah, prepare for that. Progress stops for no one, right? So being that nothing stays the same, make sure you change as well. And when I say change for the better, grow at all times. And then speaking on things not staying the same, let's talk about Molly Querim. Molly Querim leaving ESPN abruptly. I was shocked. I thought, man, like again, you look at Molly Querim as a mainstay, right? But she resigned abruptly. In my opinion, Molly was if Stephen A was the face and so-called Batman of that show, Molly Querim was definitely the Robin. But how I see it, now is a better time than ever to leave, right? I think Molly Querim's like 41 years old. She's 41 years old. Even though ESPN First Take is the front runner on sports TV, they're not going to be a sports runner forever. Again, nothing stays the same. You know, Disney, ESPN invested heavily in Stephen A. 20 million. I think I'm not. I did some research on it. I still don't know if it's true. I don't know what anybody's pockets look like, but I heard Molly Qerim's uh, uh, contract while she was at ESPN. She was making like $500,000, $600,000 a year. I don't have any real sources to say that's concrete because that's her pockets. You know what money she make. Maybe she could have been making more. They said ESPN offered her a contract for $2 million a year, and she's been there 10 years. I don't think First Take would have been First Take without Molly Qerim. You know, the job she had as moderator. A whole bunch of people say, "Oh, yo, Molly was whack. Oh, Molly was trash." That's just people's opinion. People say the same thing about Stephen A. And ESPN gave Stephen A. 20 million. So Molly's probably looking at it like, "Yo, look, I've been here 10 years. I'm good at what I do, and all y'all offer me is $2 million a year. Nah, I think I can do other things." And like I said, I think her leaving it now is better time than never, right? Because she's still young. First Take is not going to be number one forever, and I believe she has the ability to be an mic, a lead person on her own show. I think she's super talented. Her voice, she has a unique voice. Forget about the look. She's definitely a good-looking lady. So she's not someone that's unattractive to the eye. So now, again, if she was going to leave, I think now definitely was the time to venture out and explore new possibilities. Because when I realized that, really realized when Molly Qerim was super talented was when Usher was doing a rollout for his last album. And he did a rollout where he had like Gayle King and different celebrities, including Molly Qerim, come in his show, like it was a video, and they was critiquing and he was critiquing and reviewing, like it was like an album release, right? And Molly was like one of the like interviewers, narrators, per se, that was asking him questions about the album. And she was doing such a good job that I didn't even realize it was Molly Qerim from ESPN until a little later. Like she was super knowledgeable about Usher's career, about the music. Was like really asking like really in-depth, important questions that you would want to hear from someone who was talking about music. And I was like, man, it was just another side that I saw of Molly Qerim. And as much as people say, oh, she overstepped on people, like a lot of people got to realize that ESPN, these guys on First Take got to do things within a certain time frame. So her as the moderator, she had to keep these gentlemen and women in line to get to what counted. And what counted was the commercial breaks, because that's what paid the bills. That's what gets everybody their checks at the end of the week or at the end of every 2 weeks. So she had to keep that all in line, because when somebody's debating, they're probably not even thinking about a time frame or hey, I got to get this said in 2 or 3 minutes. They're like, yo, I'm going to keep going until I get my point across, especially when it gets heated. But she was professional enough to know, hey, look, Marcus Spears, essay, Stephen A, uh, 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 or whoever else was on the show, listen, I gotta interrupt right now, and we gotta go to a commercial break. And within that, she was able to add her 2 cents. So, but again, whatever Molly Karam is getting ready to do, I wish her the best. I think she's super talented, have a crazy, she has a unique voice that I think will be welcome on any platform. I definitely wish her the best, and I think her leaving, and proving her worth was right on cue. I think she made a smart move, especially if she felt like she wasn't getting paid what she was worth. Um, Now, um, I know it's almost a week later, right? Or maybe a week later, but I want to talk about the Canelo and Crawford fight. Now, for me, this is one of the first times that I wasn't rooting for anyone. I wasn't rooting for Crawford. I wasn't rooting for Canelo. Um, did I recognize both fighters' greatness? Yes, but I just didn't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a big fan of either one. Like when I was a fan of Sugar Ray Leonard or Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather. I openly rooted for these guys to win every fight they fought. But um, again, Canelo and Crawford, I recognize their greatest. I expected a good fight. They did not. They didn't let me down, right? They didn't let me down. I don't think they let too many people down. It wasn't a slugfest. I don't think you was going to get that from either Canelo or Crawford. Um, it wasn't a slugfest. These guys showed that both of them are superior uh, boxers. Um, the only problem I had with this fight is that it ran too late. It ran too late. Like the main event, which was Canelo and Crawford, didn't get started, if I'm not mistaken, till after 12 o'clock. I mean, I feel like it was damn near 1 o'clock before they really got started the fight. I made a joke. I was like, man, by the time this fight ends, a football game is gonna come on. It was Saturday night. It was way too late. It was way too late for this fight to start. Yo, I know I'm older. And I know I'll be going to bed a little earlier than usual now, but come on. 1 o'clock, after 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, the fight is on. That was way too late. But when you talk about fights, um, from the male perspective, I felt like this is the first fight we had in a long time from some male boxers that had this level of excitement. Most of the fights that um I've been watching or experiencing has um with a high level of excitement has been coming from the female boxers. Um, but watching the fight, like I stayed up, I watched the fight. Um, right before it came on, I ain't gonna lie. I dozed off a little bit because it was late. It started late, but I definitely watched the whole fight. And round one, I gave to Canelo slightly. Round two, I gave to Crawford. Round three was a draw. Round four, I gave to Crawford. Round five to me was a draw. Round six, I gave to Crawford. Round seven and eight, I gave to Canelo. But then after eight, Crawford showed how much he really wanted this fight. And after eight, it was a wash. Nine, Crawford, round 10, Crawford, round 11, Crawford, round 12, Crawford. Crawford just looked like after round eight, he wanted it more. and he was going to take those belts from Canelo. And it was a it was an exciting fight. It was a fight full of action, um, and it was a fight from two classy individuals. They, yo, they couldn't. They were the epitome of class in that ring. I definitely want to applaud Canelo and Crawford for being two classy boxers. They didn't resort to the low level, low class shenanigans that you're seeing now from different boxers to sell a fight. But yeah, great fight. Matter of fact, I would love to see them fight again if that's even possible. But yeah, great fight. Just this time, Netflix, instead of starting it at 9, let's start it at 8. You know, it was just too late. And before I leave out, because like again, I said I'm not addressing the Giants, maybe all the Jets. You know, we all know they 0-3, but I'm gonna give everybody the song of the day. My song of the day I've been checking out is "Ain't Hard to Tell" by Nas. You know, figure it out. Classic. Ain't hard to tell. My man Nas. Yo, it's your man DU. It's talking trash, and I'm out. Y'all take care. Have a good